It is November 1st. I meant to podcast sooner, but nothing in my life goes to plan anymore. I got pulled into doing nightly data runs, which hopefully I can now, starting tomorrow, can spread out between my team. Big hoping there. But I just haven't had the energy on the weekends to film. So, yeah, it's pumpkin cream cold brew. It's necessary for my survival. Izzy's like right here, right at my feet. So we may get to see him in a little bit. He decides to be Izzy essentially. So, other life updates. It snowed last week. My parents live in Oklahoma City, as if you've watched Vlogmas. They were without power for 2 days. My best friend, who still lives there, is still without power. She lives in an older neighborhood. The lines to the houses themselves aren't buried. And so, she told me on Friday that it was going to be 5 more days when people had talked to the utility company. Yeah, that's not ideal. So, that was a worry this week of just my friends and family being without power. Lots of trees are down. Because the storm hit when the leaves were still on the trees, so a lot of the trees came down, not just like the pine trees and things like that, like all trees were coming down. Yeah. Whereas I just got a little bit of snow in late October, like you do. It's 2020. I'm not discounting anything anymore. Last night was Halloween. I stayed home like a good person, and I watched Rocky Horror Picture Show and worked on this data stuff. So now it's time to prepare for Thanksgiving. My parents are coming up, and I think I actually get the full day off. So that's that. So I will go on to some knitting now. Because of the crazy insanity, I did not have a lot of wherewithal to keep myself to a regimented schedule of you will finish this, and this each day. And so I've kind of just been being kind to myself because I've not been getting as much sleep. That is one of the things with this data run, is that it does go late into the night. And so I haven't been getting much sleep. We're not taking off the glasses so you can see how bad the bags are. But I'm drinking coffee on a Sunday. But I do have a half-finished object. It's one of my mom's socks. Okay. So this is Dream in Color, their September Club colorway. I don't think it has a name. And so it's a sock set, so the main color, come on, it's kind of this self-striping, micro-striping. Then the contrast color is in those flecks. I tried to start her second sock. I got in 20 rows of the main color, and my tension was so off. I ripped it out and I have to start it again. And now I just am at the cuff. So, okay. Izzy is trying to claim the bag with the acquisitions in it. It's right next to my coffee. So, Mr. Monster. No claws in the shirt. You do not photograph well. You do not look that lopsided in real life. So. Where was I? Oh yeah, socks. So I just have a 1 row done now and hoping that my gauge returns to normal because it was starting to pool instead of stripe. I know pooling is a form of striping, but it wasn't the right tension and I wasn't happy with it. So I just ripped it out. Which is not, there's nothing wrong with that. Like if you're feeling like you need to be redoing something because it needs to match, ripping out is a completely fine thing. And it's not like I started these like weeks or years separated. They were separated by maybe a day or two, maybe. But I was exhausted and my tension gets loose when I'm tired. So something I need to know. So that is project number 1. And the other reason I haven't gotten a lot done is because of the Stephen West Mystery knit along, because it kind of eats up all of the knitting time because it's massive. And it will continue to eat up all the knitting time because it's massive. But the next project, I didn't get as much work done either, but I did get to the split for the sleeves of the kitty vertebrae for my knee sling. And then I got a little bit done afterwards. So this is the kitty vertebrae. It's been split for the sleeves and now I'm just knitting. I was able to get a contrast color for the shawls and the cuffs and the hem. And I will show that in acquisitions. I'm sorry for the clanking of needles on tripod. And this is knit out of Knitted Wit in Monet's Garden on Victory sock. I'm gonna save the behemoth for last. So this is, the next one is a new cast on. It is called His Vest by Church Mouse Knits. Oh, I'm just gonna tink back really quickly. And it is a very plain, simple sweater vest for my dad for Christmas. So here it is knit in pieces. This is the beginning of the back piece. I'm marking every 10 rows. It's plain, it's simple. I hope he doesn't hate it. But I did have to find a color that I loved and one that I knew he was gonna wear. So that required me buying yarn. And it's not necessarily a brand that I want to support because Cascade has, the owners or previous owners of Cascade have made their political stances known, and I don't. And that's not something I want to support overly, but needed to be washable. It needed to be this color because it's heathery and it's dark. So there's really, it's this or Barocco. I didn't know if Barocco was gonna have this exact color. And I'd seen this exact color in Cascade before. So, it is what it is. That's what this is being knit out of. I did swatch. I did have to go down a needle size from their suggested size. So they suggested a 6. I'm knitting this on a US 5. Because I don't know if it was the exhaustion or not. But there was no way I was getting that gauge. Cascade Superwash 220 acts more like a DK than a worsted. But I think their gauge was probably closer to a sport worsted, like a light DK, than a heavy DK. Okay. So, to the only thing I've actually been working on with any regularity, and I'm in the middle of a row, but you're gonna have to excuse that because we're over 900 stitches right now. So this is my Slipstravaganza. So that was clue 1. Then clue 2. Well, bonus clue. Clue 3. 4 and 5, there are the triangles. My cute little new stitch marker from Corner of Craft. It was the Mystery Club stitch markers. And now I'm working on the chevrons, so I'm on the last clue. We'll see when it gets done. So I am using O Loops yarn and Hue Loco. Hue Loco is the bright green. Everything else in that is So Fetch. And I will pull. Okay. So this is Hue Loco, So Fetch, O Loops, oh come on, O Loops, Parcel Tongue, O Loops, Cunning Folk, and O Loops, Christmas at the Malfoys. That is all of the projects I've been working on. Those are all the projects I've been working on. I have worked on my sweater a little. I don't think you'd be able to see any difference. I'm still on Sleeve Island. Just due to knitting time, honestly, and what I feel like I'm able to work on. Work, guys, man. Some months are worse than others. I think the past 2 months have been worse than March. May. Like May, March were May was probably had been the worst to date, and then I started taking time. I started carving out personal time. July, August weren't bad, but September, October. Oh well. So on to acquisitions. Okay. So my local yarn shop does 2 clubs. 2 monthly club colorway type things. One is Koigu and the other one is the Dream in Color. The one at the top of the bag is the Koigu, so I will show you that first. and I got 4 skeins of the color, this month's color, called Apple Crisp. So I wanted enough that I didn't have to go searching for yarn to pair with this. Like, I didn't want to just make socks because this was just too pretty. And so I grabbed enough that I'm able to do something else. Because this is 700 yards. So this will be a colorway and a color and a shawl or something. Look at that. It's just so pretty. So Vicky, the owner of the yarn store, posts this on all the social medias. I immediately decided I needed it and was trying to figure out how. For some reason my camera just stopped recording. Okay. So the other club yarn that she has is the Dreaming color, and so this is the October Club. Honestly, the blue is the same as my shirt, almost. So these are gonna be for me. These aren't going to mom. Mine, thank you, mine. Oh, so pretty. Speckly prettiness. Next acquisition, when I picked up the sock yarn, is when I picked up the coordinating color for Catherine's sweater. It is, I'm backlit, so that's about the color. I think it's perfect and it goes really well, so. My next so the next 2 acquisitions, one, so as always I get the Knitical Roll Club from Chromatic Yarns, which is Hannah out of the UK, and this is last month's called Ruby of the Sea. My mama, the Ruby of the Sea. I do a very bad gesture impersonation, FYI. That's not a good. Last 2 have been gesture lines. It's like Ruby of the Sea and yes, I'm very sweet, which is Kiri, but not. So, like, she's mimicking gesture. And then when I went to pick up the club colorway, I found this gorgeous mohair silk lace. And it is Potions yarn in Whiskey Hangover. So I love the color. It glows, like it's just glowing. So find something to use that for. I think the only thing left, as I try to put things back into their bag, is what I'm reading, what I'm watching. So as I said last night, I watched Rocky Horror. I was going to try to watch a Halloween movie every day in October, but my life wasn't that. I have been watching YouTube, so So podcasts and web series. I have somehow gotten sucked down the worm life rabbit hole. Did not need that. I finished up A Discovery of Witches early. Those last chapters, man, I don't see how you can pace yourself. Like, it's just like boom, boom, boom. I just ran through them in a day because it was so easy. And I was up waiting for Data to complete. Story of my life currently. So I have started Shadow of Night, which is the next book in the series. And I had started reading this at one point in time and I was like, ooh, like, I'm older now. If you've never read it, you won't understand this statement. But in the beginning, it's like, seriously, Kit, you're just being pouty. Like, you are being jealous. And you need to stop. Because you're feeding into way too many tropes. I also picked up Red, White, and Royal Blue by... don't remember. But it's really good. It's a liberal fantasy dream. It is a romance. It is a male romance novel. Actually published romance novel, so I have a copy of it. But the bigger fantasy in all of that is that a female Democrat is going to win Texas in the presidential election. So, that's... and she's from Texas. Like, she's from Texas. So there are parts of it where it's just like... and my very much missing home, missing my family. The other things I've been watching, I've been watching a lot of Schitt's Creek. I finally gave it the more than passing curiosity that it deserved, and I really like it. I love how ridiculous and over the top Alexis and David and Moira are, and all the people around them. Johnny to an extent. I will say Johnny to an extent. I don't think that Johnny isn't nearly as crazy as the rest of them. So, I think that's it. I will hopefully not go 3 weeks again, 3 weeks to a month again before I podcast. But there are no promises. I will try and get back to you guys on Veterans Day. I know that is random, but I have the day off. Whatever that means. Because I work in health. I work for the health department. All right, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.